Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Captain Foley, and I got a pretty interesting video today. I wrote this idea down months and months ago, and I thought it might be a fun idea to do for this week. Today we're going to be looking at some Star Trek tattoos and kind of ranking them, or not ranking them, but rating them, kind of commenting on them, because there's been some really fantastic ones I've seen. There's also been some really odd ones. So we're going to take a look and see what the community out there is doing for tattoos, and I'm just going to give you my opinions on them. Because they all have their own merit. They all are very cool in their own way, and I just want to kind of comment on them. So I got 20 tattoos lined up and ready to go, and a special one for the last one. So anyway, let's get into it and take a look at these, shall we? Alright, so this first one is actually pretty cool. This is a Sovereign class, not necessarily the Enterprise because there's no registry, but I really love the detail on this. The black and white, or just the black, looks good, and also the details they got behind it. Also on the arm like that is a really nice choice. The inner arm, I think that works really well, and you know, the ship is pretty spot on, pretty good. I really like this one. It's kind of cool. Next up, this one's quite fantastic. This is 3D element to it, and it is on the side, on the ribs, which A, has to hurt, and B, wow, that just looks fantastic. The breaking out of those shapes, it looks really good. You got a Borg cube in the background there, and underneath you got a Delta. Now, of course, you can see he's got other tattoos. He's got a pirate ship there, and a really nice one on his chest as well. But this one's great. I do like this. However, the angle, and that's one of the problems with a lot of these tattoos when you're doing a ship, the angle doesn't always work. It is just a picture. It'd probably look better in person, obviously, but you know, that saucer kind of at the edge there looks a little odd. Other than that, the ship is fantastically detailed. The space behind it looks really good also, and yeah, I mean, this is probably the stinkiest of all the Enterprise Ds. Just saying. Next up, this one is really adorable. To boldly go with an arrow. There's been a lot. I've seen a lot of to boldly go tattoos. Some of them include ships, and I really like them. I think it's a good subtle thing. If you're a Trekkie, you know what it means. If not, it can mean something completely different to you. It's a good message to boldly go, and also the placement on the foot I think is quite nice, actually. It's subtle yet sexy, and I think this is simplicity itself. Very good choice. Alright, here we've got the TOS Enterprise, and again, simple shapes. The neck kind of gets lost a little bit. It looks like you can see the front of the strut and there's no back of the neck, or there's the back of the neck and then the front of the strut. But when you look at the strut on the other side, closest to us, it does have those two lines. So it's kind of losing something in the detail there, and also the fact that the secondary hull right under that neck at the back is disconnected. It just feels something's missing on it. Also, the placement of it. Looks like this is on a inner leg, and with the way the saucer is, when it rounds the leg, it kind of looks stubby. Not a big deal, honestly, but it is quite an interesting placement for a tattoo. This one would be covered obviously with a pair of shorts or whatever, so it's one of those ones you might not want visible, but I really like it. I like the simplicity of the TOS Enterprise. Good choice. I would probably get a TOS Enterprise if I got one myself. This one, I'm not sure what's going on. This is those nacelles. I mean, this is an interpretation of the Enterprise. I think it's based on one I've seen over the years. That's obviously never one that's been on screen. The placement of the registry, the way that's done, is odd to me. The 1701 looks really off. The NCC looks kind of cool and kind of stylistic. But there's something kind of lost in this for me. I do like the artsy appeal to it, kind of like it is like a sketch. And if this is in fact a sketch that someone did, you know, I would love to get a John Eves sketch perhaps tattooed. Maybe it's something that he whipped up really quick. I don't know. But you can see like the pencil marks and the pencil lines, and it's, again, quite interesting. I'm just not sure that I would go with this version of an Enterprise. Plus the secondary hull looks kind of off right behind the saucer there. It feels like there's It's not lower like it should be with the neck there, but anyway, again, on the inner arm, and I think that's a pretty good placement for it. This one's pretty fantastic. This is, of course, on the arm itself, on the outside of the arm, and it is, again, a simplified TOS Connie. Beautiful. I like the detail on that. Also, firing phasers is a nice touch. So it's one you don't see all the time. They're missing the pennants, of course, in the registry, but that's fine. It's a simplistic one, like I said, kind of like a, it almost feels like a sailor style tattoo, going for that kind of look. And it's neat that people incorporate that kind of thing into these, because it's kind of a merging of worlds, and that's pretty awesome. Here we got another outer arm tattoo of the 1701 with some space in the background and the trails coming off of it, which is very neat. You got the banners. I wish there was a blue glow on the inner nacelle of that far one, but not a big deal. Nobody's going to notice that, right? Right. But again, simplified. They kind of screwed up the saucer a bit. They got like the 3 circles that are supposed to be on the front of the saucer around the side here. Again, it's just a artist interpretation. It might have been a mistake. I don't know. But I do like the detailing behind of the nebula and the stars. I think that's very well crafted and very well done. And again, it's a kind of a top-notch one that I would probably consider getting myself. This one is kind of a neat look. There's one on the leg there, the one on the left, with the blue splash, and the other one's on an arm. I like the blue splash. It feels very artistic, and you got the silhouette of the ship. No detail in that. Yeah, but you know what it is? It's the refit. It looks fantastic. On the arm, again, I love the simplicity of that. You've got a splash, you've got what appears to be like it looks like an ink drawing with the splash, and just the simplistic nature of the lines. Beautiful. Even the subtlety, actually, of the registry number on it, I think is really well done. And it also has like a 3D-ness to it, with the way that bridge module and the BC deck is done. So, again, top notch to this one. This is really, really great. Oh, okay. So the cliche of live long and prosper with the Vulcan salute, but tackied up. Again, this is probably a different form of tattoo. I forget what the flowery version of tattoos are called, but live long and nothing else. There's no prosper on there. There is the delta on the hand. I don't like this style. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, but I think it's a little tacky with the flowers and stuff. I just the Spock live long and prosper salute, I think, is very overdone, but it tells people you're a Trekkie. Okay, so this one is neat. You got the more I look at it, the worse this gets. All right, so the Romulan warbird looks pretty fine. The Enterprise, though, the side of the saucer that's on his arm is totally wrong with the way that was proportioned and drawn. It doesn't work at all, and actually I would be quite annoyed if this happened to me. Other than that, the simple shape of the D is fine. The nacelle closest to his armpit is angled up, and that saucer is just not quite right there, as you can see. And also, why, if you're doing a Galaxy class and a Derridex, why on earth would you have the Voyager comm badge? Makes no sense. It should be the TNG one. And also, the comm badge, or the Delta, is misshapen. It's kind of balloony. It's not the right proportions. And whenever I see comm badges or Deltas that aren't the right proportions, it always annoys me. But teach their own. If he likes this, that's what it's. That's good. And there's something on the floor. I don't know if anybody noticed, but anyway, let's move on. This is one of those boldly go, or go boldly, tattoos that I really like. The silhouette of those ships on the arm like that, boldly go in the nice font with the trails coming out from each ship. You've got the Intrepid class, Galaxy class, Defiant, and the Connie, and I think that's really nice. That's really subtle. It's not subtle, but it's to the point, and it's not overdone. And I think this is really great. This is one that I would definitely consider getting with the ships like that, because, well, I'm a ship guy, and this just looks really nice. I think it looks kind of classy. So this one is on a back shoulder blade, and overall really nice. The Enterprise definitely has a lot of good detail in it. Again, as a ship guy, there is an error with the bottom of that saucer where it connects the neck and the middle there. That's all completely wrong. But, you know, not everybody knows or cares how that looks. It gets the point across. Also, the nacelles are quite bulky and feel more square than rounded. But it's alright. The background feels alright. Let's just throw something in there for the sake of throwing something in there. Got like an asteroid or a couple of tribbles piled up there, or I don't know what. But it's supposed to be an asteroid and a planet, obviously. But it feels odd, and I'm not really a big fan of this one, even though the detail on the Enterprise D is pretty fantastically done. So that's good. Next up, we've got DS9. Now, this is a nice choice, actually. This looks like on a chest area, and it looks really good. The detail's good, the geometry's all nice. It looks good. It's a good idea for a tattoo. There's a lot of interesting shapes and details in DS9, and I think it makes for an interesting tattoo. The bottom red bit there is a little bit off, but again, I'm kind of picky in that regard. So, but overall, it's cool to see DS9. Now, Live Long and Prosper, as I said earlier, is a little bit of a cliche for me, and the Leonard Nimoy Spock thing every time is just, it's a little bit cliche, like I said. I don't know, there's something about it that bothers me, that's like all anybody relates to with Star Trek, the general audience, but it's fine. But this is a really beautiful picture or rendering of Spock from the TOS episode, I think, Is There No Truth in Beauty? I can't remember. He welcomes somebody and he's wearing his Idic. And again, it looks really good. It looks photorealistic. Like anybody that can do portraits really well, kudos to them, man, because that's a difficult thing to do. And Live Long and Prosper. I mean, if you're a Star Trek and a Spock fan, this is fantastic. And the grayscale looks really good with this. And it doesn't look too cartoony or too silly. It actually is very well done. So, awesome job. The Delta. This is from, actually, I believe the Starfleet Academy game, that kind of era. And again, I'm not sure where this is on the body. I don't know. But the curves of the Delta are wrong, especially at the bottom there. It's just kind of fine. The detail behind it's kind of a nice touch to kind of, you know, add something to it. But other than that, the colors are nice, and I'm just not the biggest fan of the way that tattoo looks specifically. So, moving on. Now this is an odd one because this is the Enterprise C, the Ambassador class, which is one of my favorite ship designs. I think it's really neat. It's obviously, there's a planetscape in the foreground, and you've got the nebula and a planet and a moon in the background, but that's the exact shot of when the Enterprise C came out of the anomaly in yesterday's Enterprise, and it looks great. There's a little bit of lack of detail on the front there because I think it's supposed to be lighting there, like something lighting it up. But other than that, I think the Enterprise C or the Ambassador class looks fantastic here. Just the front of the saucer is a little bit bothersome for me. Other than that, great choice. Good ship to pick. I really kind of appreciate that, honestly. Here's a very simple one, and this is one I've considered getting many times over the years. Just a Delta on the left pec. And this one's really well done. Proportioned properly, looks exactly like the patch, and I think it's really nicely done. Yeah, this is one I've been considering getting. As long as you get the right size, in the right position, and detailed correctly with the right geometry, I think these are fantastic and nice. So I would probably get a Trekyards one now, though. Alright, so here we got a comm badge, which is a 3D comm badge with the ribbon in it. Nice touch. The oval looks off. I don't know if it's just because it's on the leg and the leg is rounded, but the oval behind the Delta seems a little bit distorted and weird and not quite correct. But it does have what looks like either the wormhole from DS9 or just kind of a spiral galaxy type deal in the background, and I think that's a nice little touch. I do like the 3D-ness of this, and I just wish that the oval looked a little bit better. There's something about it that looks off on the left-hand side there, and I don't know if it's just because of the angle of the leg and how that worked out, but That's one of the problems when you put it on certain body parts, I feel. And lastly, this is Vulcan text on my beautiful wife. This is Sylvia's tattoo on her left leg, and it is Vulcan script that says IDIC. It says infinite diversity and infinite combinations in Vulcan, and it's pretty fantastic. It is very subtle, very classy, and again, it's one of those ones, if you know, you know. A lot of people that don't know have said, is that a musical representation of something? But that's one of the things with the Vulcan language. It's quite, when it's written out, it's quite beautiful and does seem artistic or music inspired. So yeah, this is one of Sylvia's tattoos, and I just kind of wanted to end with that one, and I think it's amazing. It's beautiful just like she is. So there you go. Alright guys, that is it for this look at tattoos, Star Trek tattoos specifically. I wouldn't mind doing a few more of these. If you have any tattoos, sci-fi related or Star Trek specifically, that you want me to look at and review or talk about, I don't like using the word review, but like give you my thoughts on, you can do so. You can send me a picture to trekyards@hotmail.com, or if you're already a friend of mine on Facebook, send it via Facebook Messenger or something like that. I would like to take a look at them. Now, a lot of these, I have my opinions, and I'm not always right. A lot of people might think some of them are fantastic, but I want to hear your thoughts down below. A lot of them are artistic choice. The artist might not know enough about Star Trek, or the person doesn't necessarily, but they still like Star Trek. It reminds them of their dad or something. So some of the errors could just be laziness. It could just be lack of knowledge. But the fact that they're willing to put a Star Trek tattoo on their body, I think is pretty fantastic. It kind of shows all the other Trekkies that we're all in this awesome club together, and I think that's kind of fun. So anyway, like I said, comment down below if there's any tattoos, sci-fi related or otherwise, that you'd like me to take a look at in one of these. This is the first episode of this, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing it, but I thought this was a pretty fun idea to try out, and hopefully you guys liked it. So leave me a comment whether you liked it, and if there's anything else you'd like me to take a look at and kind of give my thoughts on, please consider doing so. Just put the comments down below. That's what they're there for. Anyway, guys, until next time, I'm Captain Foley. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to both channels, the Trekyards channel and this channel as well, and make sure you check out another video from me also. So until next time, I'll do the cliche, guys. Live long and prosper, because that's what everybody knows about Star Trek. Bye, guys.